And welcome to Hero Power. This is episode 206. And as always, I'm your host, Avanties, and I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? We are on the precipice of Galakronds Awakening. I'm excited.
Ooh, the precipice.
Precipice. I'm using big words. I'm
are.
unloading the
I'm
big
impressed.
words today.
Someone's been reading their dictionary they got for Christmas.
That's right. And thank you for that, by the way.
So we don't have a whole lot to talk about this week. In fact, pretty much the only news is the second wave of card reveals that we're going to be talking about for most of the show, and then we're going to get right into a great Warlock deck to play this week, courtesy of Disguised Toast. So if you guys haven't been checking out his streams over there on Facebook, it has been entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's been a interesting week. Not a lot of news, but then again, a lot of news. And also, we do have a little news, kind of 0.5 news for the Tavern Brawl. So we'll talk about that a little bit, because there was a little bit of a shakeup and some interesting things going on with Tavern Brawls lately that I'd like to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any emails or new patrons or any new iTunes reviews. So let's just kind of jump into it, and let's talk first about our week in Hearthstone. I know you've been playing quite a bit this week.
Yes.
You've had quite a lot going on with THL and everything else. So tell us a little bit about what you've been into this week.
So our week one THL, we took a very commanding first place, tied for first for the conference. We kind of came out, doorbusters, went 4-1 in the first week. Kind of had a week two, in the fact that three of us lost pretty handily. I lost my match 1-3. Our team scouted us out really well, but we did come back and we got a double-digit loss. So if you know anything about THL, there's a point system. And while wins and losses in your weeks do matter for bonus points, ultimately it's the points. And we were able to rack up 12 points in a losing week, which is pretty good when you lose a week and you still are able to pull double digits. So that should keep us in contention for playoffs. And I'm really excited for that. It's really nice also to be able to play alongside my Hero Power cohort, Matt at Arms. So he actually is a lot of help in our Discord and in deciding what to play along with himself and Wicked Good. And, of course, Ridiculous Hat and Kazuda Root rounding out the team. I think we're going to have a playoff ready team in THL. But the news for me with Hearthstone is I've kind of taken a back seat on the ladder. I'm bouncing between rank 4 and 5 and more just enjoying playing unique decks and just having fun before the solo content. I'm not pushing Legend as much as I used to. I've kind of proven that I can do that on a regular basis, and now it's just about having fun. And if I got to sit and live at rank 5 playing these really interesting decks like the deck we're going to play this week, I'm happy with that, especially with THL being in the swing, and I have to try out new decks to test for, the meta of what I might end up playing against. So right now I'm just kind of embracing. This might be the most fun I've had in Hearthstone in a January in a long time.
And do you feel like there's just not, like you said, you've not been pushing ladder. Do you feel like that's why you're having fun with it, is because you're not having that pressure to try to push to Legend? Do you feel like it's not as important as it used to be?
Yeah, yes. It's definitely not as important as it used to be. Again, the main reason I did it was for validity on the show, and I was competing on Dream Hacks and things like that. But I think what changes it for me is I'm not a big Wild player. I sleeve it up every now and then to prove I've got chops in Wild, and I've done that. I've gotten Legend and Wild and Standard in the same month. But and I don't play much arena, so usually I play standard and I'm not enjoying it, and I'm like, what else could I do? I don't want to do anything else. And I keep pounding at it. Now I can just jump over to battlegrounds for 3-4 rounds, and then I go, well, let's go back over to standard. And I'm finding that when I go back to standard from taking a break playing battlegrounds for a little bit, I feel refreshed and I start performing well again. So I think now that there's multiple modes that I enjoy in Hearthstone and don't feel like I have to force playing arena or force playing wild just to keep my my juices flowing for Hearthstone. Now that I have battlegrounds to fall onto, I think that's why I like it more, because there's multiple modes. Now, bringing us to the solo content, we have the solo content coming out this Tuesday, which if you're watching us live, it's in 2 days. If you're listening to us on the download, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's really, I don't know if for listeners that haven't, that are newer and haven't watched us for a while, I make it a point to get those heroic card backs as quickly as possible. I try to knock out the solo content right away, and I will likely be streaming some of it this week on my personal channel, twitch.tv/Zerotio. So this kind of gets me excited, and we didn't have this type of solo content since One Night at Karazhan.
Yeah,
where you're getting this robust, very robust story, and difficulty is high, and you get cards as rewards, which is really going to throw off THL practice. So I can turn around and play these solo content, unlock these cards, and then go, wow, now let's quickly go and make a deck with them and find out if I can throw my opponent off this week. So that's going to be really interesting over the next 4 weeks to see not only how much fun and how much I enjoy the solo content, but on the backswing, how does it affect the meta on a competitive level in a league tournament series like THL?
Well, I'm going to throw this out there. Go ahead and be practicing with that solo content, with that tier 1 solo content, because I'm hosting a fireside in Knoxville on February the 8th, and
nice.
We are going to race to see who can finish the free tier of Galakronds Awakening the fastest, and the winner will get a prize.
Am I eligible?
Probably.
That sounds like a lot of fun, and I just found out it works out perfectly, because for the first time in THL history, we have our teams unbalanced, so we actually have bye weeks, and the Pod People's bye week lands just on that week.
Awesome.
So that'll I won't have to fit in a THL match on top of the fireside that weekend. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, I am too. It'll be the first fireside I've run this year, so I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody out there and having some fun. If everybody enjoys this, we might do a Battlegrounds rat race in the near future.
Cool. Hey, that's a lot of fun.
So, all right.
Well, but one more thing before we go on to the news. For those listening on the download, happy birthday, Avanties.
Thank you, sir.
You thought I forgot.
I didn't think you forgot. I was hoping you were going to let it slide, but no, I appreciate it. Yeah, my birthday is tomorrow, the day you guys are downloading this podcast. So
hit him up in Discord, slam him on Twitter, Facebook, however you reach Avanties, or go ahead and tweet
over the heel.
Tweet a happy birthday, Avanties, at HeroPower_cast. That works too. My phone will blow up too, but that's fine. It's worth it.
So yeah, I will be 40 by the time you guys are listening to this. So I get to go do what everybody so loves to do on their birthday and stand in line at the DMV to get my license renewed.
When I turned 40, I dreaded that too. And I walk in and the line is out just long. And I was like, oh. And I look over and there's these little kiosks. So I walk over to the kiosk and it's like, oh, I can do this here. And I punch out, and I assumed I would stand in line. and I punch it in. It's like, wait to be called for your photo. I was like, okay, yeah. So that's why it's going to be the line. Literally maybe 6-7 minutes. They call me up, take a photo, give me my card, done. So look
Yeah.
for the little kiosks.
Yeah, well, the
good.
problem is they have the state of Tennessee, and I think all the other states are doing it as well, have this new thing called the Star. Let's see, what is it called? It's a driver's license Star Real ID. That's it.
Oh, okay.
The Real ID, and so if you travel at all, you will not going. I think starting next year, you will not be able to get through airport security without an ID that has the Real ID star on it.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go get that.
So you will not be able to fly without that. So I'm gonna try to get all my paperwork together and take care of that this year, so I don't have to go back.
Fun.
But anyway, this is not a TSA podcast. This is, in fact, Hero Power. So let's jump right into the news. We are going to talk a little bit about these second wave of card reveals that dropped, and so go ahead and hide that. We'll show that. Ha! Galakronds Awakening. So last week, I think we talked about like 5 cards that had dropped.
4 cards.
4 cards that had dropped up to that point. So now we have seen a few more. We've still not seen the full 35. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there are some other cards I didn't include in these slideshows, these images, because they were translation data mines.
Uh-huh.
And a couple of them are in here, but not all of them have been released, so we don't know 100% if they're accurate or not. So I didn't want to include those and be incorrect. But obviously next week we'll talk about the rest, as well as we give our experience on the first wing.
Okay, awesome. So let's jump right into this. First up, we have a Druid common spell. It's 2 mana, Rising Winds. Twin spell. Choose one, draw a card, or summon a 3/2 eagle. That's all right.
Yeah. So with the recent balance changes to Shaman, Quest Druid has kind of come back. And Quest Druid is really good right now. It's just missing a few things. And 2 mana to draw a card and summon a 3/2 is just, it's great. It's above value. So obviously this, if you're doing the Quest Druid variation of this, it's very good. Now, if you're putting in something like a token Druid as a way to draw or get you more minions, it's still a solid card. But obviously if you're playing Quest Druid, it increases it. The fact that it's a twin spell gives it the most value to me.
I also think it's worth pointing out that the eagle that you summon is in fact a beast.
Yes.
So it does get any benefits you have that buff beasts, which we've been seeing some more pushes towards that in Druid. So
yeah, I think they've kind of given up on the Beast Druid moniker. They wanted it to be a thing. But who knows, in Wild, there may be enough Beast Druid support to make this a viable, token-based Beast Druid. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Then we have an Elemental Mage minion, the Arcane Amplifier. It's a 3 mana, 2/5. Your hero power deals 2 extra damage.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
actually pretty strong. The fact that it's a 3 mana 2/5 is important, because that 5 health is kind of that break point where it's 1 above 4. It survives a lot of clears. It survives a lot of trades. So I really think, I think this is going to be strong. I don't know if there is a hero power based mage that really wants to use this. But there could be just not so much a hero power mage, but a burn mage. Because if all of a sudden for 5 mana your hero power is doing 3 damage. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, turn 5, play this, and hero power ping something off that has 3 health. That seems
Or
pretty good to me.
hit him in the face.
Yeah, hit him in the face for 3. All right, next up, we have a priest minion called the Aeon Reaver. It is a common 6 mana 4/4 battle cry. Deal damage to a minion equal to its attack.
Now, it's kind of confusing, but they did a video on this. It's deal damage to a minion equal to that minion's attack, not Aeon Reaver's attack.
Okay.
So if you hit an 8/8 with it, it's going to do 8 damage to itself. But if you hit a 4/8 with it, it's going to do 4 damage.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, this takes down those big beefy minions. It takes down the
this card is that this card is that middle school bully that always asks, "Why are you hitting yourself?"
Yes, that's exactly. I mean, look at him. He looks like a middle school bully.
Yeah.
But one thing to note is he is a dragon.
Ooh.
So he does meet the qualifications for Dragon Priest, for holding a dragon in your hand. So that's, to me, that's the most interesting thing about this. It's removal, and it helps satisfy the dragon synergies for Dragon Priest.
Yes.
And you can get him off of the Discover minions that give you random dragons.
Yes, you can, which is, I think, is a big thing to remember. So, all right. Next up, we have a shaman common spell, Eye of the Storm. Now, this is a 10 mana spell. You got to ask yourself, what am I getting for 10 mana? Because that's a lot. That's your entire turn to play this spell. Well, it summons 3 5/6 elementals with taunt and overloads you 3.
Yeah. I mean, 5/6 taunts and shaman have recently been nerfed. Now, mind you, I think the cost of the card really affected that. Not so much exactly that they're 5/6 taunts. I don't see a way this gets played in a deck, because there's so many ways to deal with it, and it's overloading you for 3. Now, mind you, you could get this off a Yogg box, a puzzle box of Yogg Saron. You could get off anything that casts a random spell, like what we saw last week, the new Reno hero card. It casts a random spell. It might cast this for you, which having 3, 5, 6 is good, but now the next turn you only have 7 mana. So we just have to see. We're just gonna have to see how it goes, because this is a powerful effect, but 10 mana is a lot.
Okay, there we go. I agree. I also don't think this will see a lot of play because of the effect, unless, like you said, you're getting it off of something, or shamans are some way able to discover a Kaligos or something and play it for free.
That's fair.
So, all right. Moving on. Let's see. We have Air Raid, which is a paladin rare spell, 2 mana twin spell, summon 2 1/1 silver hand recruits with taunt. This seems like it's pretty good, Zerotio. You're our resident paladin expert. What do you think?
I think it's really good, and a lot of people are saying a token-based strategy, and there are some tools for a token-based strategy in Paladin right now. I'm very, very skilled with decks like Holy Wrath Paladin or control-based Paladin. And in control Paladins, you run Shirvala just so you can eventually have that healing. This card gives you taunts and is 4 mana worth of spells for Shirvala. So you don't have to go so heavy on your higher end spells, you could probably just run a couple of these, and that's 8 mana worth of reduction to Shivala right there. Obviously, the best place to put it is in a token based aggressive strategy, but I do think there is merit to putting it in a lot of different variations of Paladin. I think it's a solid card, almost an auto inclusion in most Paladin decks.
Okay, all right. Next up, we have a rare druid minion, the Winged Guardian. It is a 7 mana, 6/8 beast with Taunt and Reborn, and can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. This seems like it's a pretty solid minion. 6/8 for 7, Taunt Reborn, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. What do you think, Zerotio? I mean, some people might think 7 is a little slow, but Druid is the class known for ramping, so.
Yeah, I think this is really strong. I honestly think that Beast on this kind of takes away from it a little bit. And I'm talking more about playing it in Wild, because obviously this would be awesome in something like a Hadronox Taunt Druid, but the fact that it's a beast means it can be resurrected off of the Witching Hour instead of Hadronox. But in Standard right now, this is just a solid card. I think this also goes into Quest Druid, just because it's a huge, beefy taunt minion that's going to be hard to get rid of. It can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. They can't just clear the minion and then ping it off with a hero power or anything like that. So yeah, I really like this. Also, it'll be in the Reborn pool for like the Rogue Cat. Yeah, because it can get the Warrior one. So the Pharaoh Cat, I think it's called. So the Reborn pool is getting bigger, which is nice to see. It's not something we normally see, because usually when you see a mechanic like that, like Reborn, it only stays in that set. So I do like that they're using some of the mechanics, Twin Spell, Reborn, that were from the previous sets in Year of the Dragon. So this is very interesting, and I think if Druid is playable in the new meta with these Galakron Awakening cards, Winged Guardian goes in most of those decks.
Yes, I agree. The Winged Guardian.
Hey, you say potato, I say potato.
No, I say potato, you say potato.
That's right.
All right. Next up, we have the Escaped Mana Saber. This is a neutral epic minion. It is a 4 mana, 3/5 beast. It has stealth, and whenever this attacks, gain 1 mana crystal this turn only. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think we've never seen a minion that gives you a mana crystal this turn when it attacks. This is a first, isn't it?
We've never seen a mana ramp card outside of Druid.
That's true.
This is a neutral card. You can put this in your beast-based hunter deck. You put it in any deck, and it's stealth, so there's kind of merit to baiting out board clears, because it's got 5 health, so they're gonna have to use some kind of board clear. You might be able to bait out an early brawl, a twisting nether on a suboptimal board, just so that you can do this. And what's really interesting about it is there are some really neat things you can do with 11 mana in the game. There are some weird OTK combos, but you need 11 mana. So nobody really, unless there's some way to reduce the mana cost of cards in the meta at the time, with Thorson rotated out and Fate Weaver only being in Priest, it's not really possible. You can play something to start your combo, attack with this that was stealth last turn, and now you got an extra mana to do whatever you need to do. And if you find some way to give this Wind Fury, then you can get 2 mana. So this card is sneaky good, and I say that kind of as a pun because it has stealth. But there are some really neat ways to maybe you get 2 of these on the board on turn 8, and if they can't clear your board, that's 2 minions that are giving you 2 more mana to maybe pull off some weird mana combo.
Okay. All right.
And I love my OTK deck, so I will be experimenting with this card.
All right, and our last slide of cards that were released
Legendaries.
have our legendaries. Yeah, we've got some interesting legendaries here. First up is a neutral legendary, Grand Lackey Urka. How do you think that's pronounced?
I'm just calling him Eric.
Eric, Grand Lackey Eric. That sounds less fantastic. Is a 4 mana 2/3. After you play a lackey, add a lackey to your hand. Now, I've seen some discussions this week after this card was announced of has lackey oversaturated the meta, and are people just ready for the lackey mechanic to just go away? What are your thoughts, Zerotio?
To that I say no. I love the lackey mechanic. I think we've only had it for less than a year technically now in Hearthstone life. I saw this and I thought it really neat. You're going to have a bunch of lackeys. A lot of really cool things can happen, but it's not going to be very board impactful. Until I talked to Slow Madman, a coworker at work, and he was like, "Wow, that means that Quest Rogue is back again in Warlock." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You play Takan." Okay. He goes, then you play this and a lackey, which is a 4/4. He gives you a lackey, you play it, it's another 4/4. You play that lackey, it's a 4/4. You have a bunch of 4/4s on your board. It's like, oh my gosh, he's right. So Lackey Warlock is probably going to be the new thing everybody hates. Because
they got to hate something.
The difference between Lackey Warlock and Quest Rogue of the day is Lackey Warlock would play like a zoo. So there's already a zoo-based strategy that's predominant and powerful in Warlock, where Rogue, it was just a bunch of flood board minions. But if every single one cost minion is now a 4/4, then it's going to bait out. It's going to bait out board clears. It's going to bait out all kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited to see what happens. Now, mind you, Eric has to be on the board when you're doing that, but there's lots of ways to copy him into your hand, things like that. So get multiple copies. Maybe you run Plot Twist and the Elec, so you can get multiple copies of Eric in your deck, and so that you can play him multiple times. Obviously, it's very gimmicky, but maybe there's something there. We'll have to experiment.
Yeah. I, for one, am looking forward to it. And keep in mind, everybody, if you buy the adventures, you get all of these cards just for playing through. So you don't have to craft any of these. You're going to have these.
Now, mind you, and you say buy the adventure. That's another thing we haven't really talked about a lot. You can pre-order for $19.99. You get a golden classic pack, but you can buy these wings individually. They're $6.99 a wing or 700 gold. So if you saved up your gold, you don't have to spend any real money on these cards.
And everybody's getting the first wing for free.
Well, they're getting the evil part of the first wing free.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up, we have Sky General Crag. It's a 4 mana 2/3 pirate with taunt and battle cry. If you've played a quest this game, summon a 4/2 pirate with rush.
So it's been clarified that it's either a quest or any of the side quests.
Okay.
That works as well.
So any card that is a quest style card, main quest or side quest.
Yes, and the thing that I really like about this card is the fact that it's Crag. We've seen this before where they'll bring out different variations. They did it with Ragnaros.
Yeah, we had Sky
Ragnaros the Light
Captain
Lord.
Crag.
Yep, Sky Captain
So
Crag.
congratulations to Crag on his promotion to
Promotion.
general.
Yep. He got promoted, and he has a really awesome Devil Sore skull as his shoulder pad. That is so World of Warcraft. I think I might actually have this armor set in World of Warcraft. It's pretty awesome looking. No, but summoning a 4/2 parrot with Rush alongside this 2/3 taunt, it's not huge, but it's. I mean, that's what 6/5 worth of stats over 2 minions, 4/2 of it, which could go into Rush, and it's a taunt, so it's a disruption. It probably goes in Pirate Warrior. I don't know if there's a way for them to play quests in there, though, is the problem. The warrior quest is attacking with your weapon, so maybe there is a way. Because you don't have to complete the quest, you just have to have played the quest or a quest.
That's correct. Yes, you just have to have
it could
played
still
the
be
quest.
Uncompleted in play as long as it's been played.
Yes. Yeah. So and again, that's another neutral minion. So neutral pirates or any deck that runs pirates can run Sky General Crag. And then the last card of our release thus far, again, as a, like you just mentioned, throwback to World of Warcraft. Anyone that has played a shaman is well aware of the Fist of Radin. It is a shaman legendary weapon. 4 mana, 1/4. After you cast a spell, summon a legendary minion of that cost, and the weapon loses 1 durability. So if you cast a 5 mana spell, you get a 5 mana legendary. If you cast, I don't know, a 10 mana spell, you get a 10 mana legendary.
I just thought of that. We just talked about the 10 mana shaman spell, Eye of the Storm. Maybe this is where it's playable. To get 3 5/6s and a 10 mana minion in play all in one turn, that's worth the 3 overload, and it's not a lot of tempo loss.
Yeah, that's a pretty big tempo swing, depending on the 10/10 that you get. Yeah,
or the 10 mana,
the 10 mana spell or 10 mana minion. Yeah, I mean, there's some
a lot of
definite possibilities there with this weapon, and it's only a 4 mana weapon, so. You could play this and a 5 or 6 mana spell the same turn and have a pretty decent play.
Yeah, and I like these weapons that lose durability for doing things. So it's kind of neat that they're grabbing on that. And I like that they also are doing a legendary weapon in this set, which is a throwback to other things that happened this year. So I like this card. I don't have an obvious way where it fits. I'm sure there's some kind of weird combo-y thing where you can almost guarantee to grab yourself or have a chance to grab yourself a legendary from a class you wouldn't normally have, or something you can't include in your deck. I mean, if you play an 8 mana spell, you could get a Alakir, but you could also get a Tyrion.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
right.
I mean, I haven't gotten into the depth of what legendaries or what mana cost. That's something I might do tomorrow as some research to see how impactful this can be.
Let me tell you what I think about this weapon. And I'm a big fan of shaman, but this weapon, this belongs in a museum.
So do you think that weapon removal will be a premium, that Harrison Jones is going to come out of retirement and be back in the meta just to counter this?
I mean, if they play this on 4, and then it curves right into Harrison on 5, and you draw 4 cards.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's the possibility of you might start seeing Harrison in the meta.
I mean, it's not been unheard of. Control Warrior did it for a long time because the meta was weapon heavy, and Control Warrior also gives your opponent a weapon to overwrite your weapon and then Yeah, I mean, maybe Harrison Jones comes out to throw this in a museum. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, that covers all of the Galakronds Awakening cards that we have seen thus far. Next week we will we'll have hands on with the solo content for
Mhm.
about 6 days by the time we record next week. So we'll cover the remaining cards that get released, and we'll talk about our experiences with the solo content. So,
Yeah, and remember, we're getting Wing One, but we have two adventure storylines going. So instead of three bosses, you're actually going to have six bosses.
that's correct.
And so my goal obviously is to complete all six and then turn around and do as much, if not all of it, on heroic as quickly as possible before week 2 comes out. So it's going to be a lot more hectic and busier than former solo adventures, which means I get to play more, and that excites me. I'm probably not going to be able to play much on the ladder at all, which is going to be. I definitely want to play more on the ladder with these cards so I can test them out for THL. But there's going to be a lot going on. I'm excited. A lot of Hearthstone.
Yes, yes. So, all right. That brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl.
Yes.
And we need to talk a little bit about this. So the Tavern Brawl this week is pick a hand, any hand. Pick the first 7 cards of your deck, and we'll fill the rest with unstable portals. You get your portals after your mulligan. However,
I have not done this Tavern Brawl because I actually was able to play the original Tavern Brawl.
So why don't you tell us about that, Zerotio?
So the original Tavern Brawl that came out on Wednesday was Trailblazing the Road to Northrend. And it was a solo style content, kind of a la the dungeon crawl adventures we've had this year with Rise of Shadows and Saviors of Uldum, where we got to join the Explorers, a League of Explorers, while they had Reno portal hop trying to get back to I think they were going to Northrend. Yeah, trying to get to Northrend, and he screws up royally. It was a lot of fun. The problem is there were lots of issues, which I didn't experience any. I did see one where the hero power for Reno wasn't reading properly, that when you went in, you had a totally different hero power. But I guess people had a lot of bug issues, mainly on mobile with this adventure, so they pulled it and replaced it with pick a hand, any hand. And there's a blog post, and we'll post it in the show notes so people can read it, letting us know that this adventure style Tavern Brawl will be back on the 22nd, which is the day after the solo content release. But more importantly, this is like the second or third Tavern Brawl that's had to be pulled or had major issues in the last month. And we were recently given news that Joe Mag is leaving that team.
Yes, so it's been a big shakeup.
Yeah,
we have been having some issues with Tavern Brawls, as you mentioned, and yes, Joe Mag has announced yesterday or Friday. Friday was his last day with Blizzard. He's moving on to do other things a little closer to home, and so we want to thank Joe for everything he's done for Tavern Brawls and wish him well in his future endeavors.
Yeah, and it's really clear. Again, we've known about him leaving for a while now, and usually when somebody is leaving either a team, a department, or the company, they will, and they're working out a notice or whatever, they will cross-train people to take over those roles. And all of this kind of, lack of a better term, screw up that has been happening with Tavern Brawls happened about a month ago, close to the time when Joe Mag announced that he's going to be leaving the team. So I'm wondering if he hasn't been passing off the reins to other people and they're just not ready.
It's possible. We'll have to wait and see how things play out before we know anything else going forward.
Yeah, because I worry because Tavern Brawls in the last year, really, yeah, last year, since about middle of 2018, they've really hit their stride. And then I got to meet Joe Mag last year or in 2018 at BlizzCon, and he was just an amazing individual and was clearly loves the community and loves the players that he makes this mode for. And he asked for lots of input, and I at that point went, this guy really loves the community. He loves his players. He wants to do good by him, and he's proven that. And now he's leaving, and we're seeing a dip in the functionality of the Tavern Brawl. And I'm worried that we're going to continue seeing these type of problems in Tavern Brawl, and maybe the creativity won't be there anymore, because Joe Mag was obviously the glue that kept that department together so far from what I'm seeing from evidence. So we'll just have to see, and I hope they can step up because they've really been messing up if Joe Mag just stepped away to let them, learn it on their own, and they just have had screw up. I think they've had at least 2 pulled in the last 4 weeks, and that is not a good ratio.
Right. So, well, we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But I'm looking forward to playing this Trailblazing the Road to Northrend. I did not get to do it, and I've not done Pick a Hand, Any Hand yet. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
I feel a little robbed because I got to do the Trailblazing, and then next week I'll have to do it again.
That's true.
And while the story was good, I only did it on one hero. I was going to go back and do more, but they pulled it. So maybe now I can do other heroes. But it's like, to get my pack, I don't even feel like I need to complete it. I think you don't even have to complete it to get your pack. You just have to get a win. So I'm not going to be – maybe this is a good thing for me because I'm going to want to focus on the solo content.
Okay. All right. So that brings us to this week's deck list, which, as we said at the top of the show, is a Warlock Mecha'Thun deck from Disguised Toast himself. Now, the meta has been in a bit of flux since the recent nerfs, and I watched Disguised Toast stream the other day, and he was talking about maybe this was a good time for the return of Mecha'Thun.
Yes.
And so he built out this deck, and I watched him play it, and it seemed like a whole lot of fun. That I messaged Zerotio and was like, hey, maybe we should play Warlock this week. And one of our patrons, Howard the Dave, had submitted a Control Warlock deck, and I was like, well, maybe we play Dave's deck, or maybe we play this Mecha'Thun deck that Toast has put together. And Zerotio replied almost instantaneous, like, Mecha'Thun.
Well, I had already created the deck, and I was going to, because I watched his YouTube video, and I was going to play it when I got home from work. So I was like, I'm already going to play this deck anyway, so might as well just play it for the show. Because I always try to play the deck that we're playing for the show a couple times to get practice with it. So I'm like, it's a win-win for me when it comes to time management. So this is a fun deck. I'm still learning my paces, and there's some changes I would make to it. But right now, I'm just going to continue playing it the way it's built and see, just kind of see how it works out. Because and again, the meta is going to change with these new cards coming in. So now is the time to play experimental decks.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to run down the deck list, and then we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll go over and play it a couple of games. So it's got 2 Elven Archers, 2 Mortal Coil, 2 Plague of Flames, 2 Potion Vendors, the Warlock Quest Supreme Archaeology. Then it's got 1 copy of the Solarium. Then you've got 2 Voodoo Doctors, 1 Curse of Weakness, 2 Doomsayers, 1 Galvanizer, 2 Novice Engineers, 2 Plot Twist, 2 Questing Explorer, Zephyrus the Great, 2 Dark Skies, 2 Voodoo Dolls, and then you get into the meat and potatoes of the deck. You've got Lord Godfrey, Valdris Felgorge, and Mecha'Thun. So, if anybody played the Supreme Archaeology plot twist Mecha'Thun deck that was out back when Saviors dropped, this is very, very similar to that deck. And the big difference here is you have Valdris Felgorge, which increases your hand size to 12. And one of the most important things to remember here is plot twist early if you can, so that you can use your Galvanizer to discount your Mecha'Thun and not have to worry about losing it to a plot twist.
Yeah, because that's important. There's a couple things of importance to note here. First off is if you reduce the cost of Mecha'Thun and then shuffle him back into your deck, when you draw him, he'll be 10 mana again.
That's correct.
So you can't play the Galvanizer with Mecha'Thun in your hand until after you played both plot twists. Also, Valdris Felgorge, you need to try to play him as early as possible, because if you go to a really late game and you don't have 4 cards in your deck, you're going to take fatigue.
Yes.
And you have to play Felgorge out of your hand because you have to have an empty hand for Mecha'Thun. So hand management is very important. Also, and Disguised Toast almost made this mistake on his stream and on his video, is the Curse of Weakness. If you play Curse of Weakness the turn that you're going to do your Mecha'Thun combo, you then have the Echo version of Curse of Weakness in your hand, and Mecha'Thun will not go off properly.
Yeah.
So he caught it literally the turn he was going to do it. Like, wait a minute, that's not. So he had to buy himself a turn.
No.
Yeah. So health management's very important. There's not a lot of healing in this deck. It doesn't have the taunts that when you draw give you 4 health or anything like that, which is some changes I probably would make to the deck. I'd probably go a little more true to the original form of this deck when Saviors came out, but adding Valdris in it. But ultimately, it's a pretty good deck. Also, you can Dark Skies the turn you play if you want. If you don't have enough cards in your hand to clear their board, you can Voodoo Doll their highest health minion, and in Dark Skies, likely your Voodoo Doll will get hit. So there is kind of gamesmanship there. So there's a lot of this deck definitely rewards somebody who has a high skill level with OTK and combo decks.
Well, between the two of us, we've got some Boomer APM, so let's take a look at it and let's see what we can do.
Oh, gosh. Please don't make that a thing. I do not want that phrase to become a thing. Boomer APM.
Yeah. That's one of Toast's favorite new phrases.
Oh, goodness.
So, all right, gang.
Don't tell your son that, because that'll be all he ever says to anybody.
Oh, I know. He's already started. We went and had lunch today, and the people at the table next to us were talking about kids these days, and he goes, "Dad, we're sitting next to a bunch of boomers." So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast, and you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power and wish Avanties a happy birthday.
All right, so I have the game loaded up. And I am ready to fight the Spectate boss.
So that was weird. I have played some Hearthstone today, and I got a quest when I logged in. That was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I got a new quest pop up. Anyways, Let's see here. My spectate is on, and I am attempting to find a worthy opponent or a gum chewer. Penniless Paladin. I like that one. I don't think I've seen that one before. Oh, so Gul'dan versus Gul'dan.
Oh.
They don't have the golden hero power or the portrait, so we are the superior Gul'dan. So we have Supreme Archaeology, Mecha'Thun, Mortal Coil. I think we keep everything except Mecha'Thun.
I agree.
And my reasoning is if this is the Galakronds Zoo, there's some 1 health minions that'll go out early. We can Mortal Coil those. Plot Twist is going to be good with a good hand size.
Yeah.
This is a good start.
I like it. Maybe Mortal Coil. Oh. Okay.
Wow.
Just draw a second Mortal Coil while we're at it.
Yeah. So we just play Supreme Archaeology turn 1.
And pass.
And hit end turn and have them sit and look really confused. They didn't mulligan anything, which tells me they are... Ooh, maybe they're testing out the lackey-based zoo early?
Maybe.
So do we Mortal Coil this?
Mortal Coil that and just draw a card.
I think so, yeah.
I think we're looking to just cycle through our deck as fast as possible.
Yep. You know, we say that, and I'm almost tempted. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to coin hero power.
Okay. I don't hate that.
The hero power replaces a coin, and that way when we plot twist, we don't shuffle the coin into our deck.
Correct.
So if he plays a lackey this turn, which I suspect he will, we can Mortal Coil it,
and
draw a card, and then plot twist.
Okay.
But he didn't play one.
So what about just hero powering here and then...
I think just hero powering is fine.
Ending turn.
And I'm tempted to just put out a body, but I want more for my plot twist.
Okay.
If he had played a minion, I would... Ooh. Okay.
So, plot twist first? Or do you want to just maybe Voodoo Doctor and Plague?
I think we just tap and then plot twist.
Okay. I don't hate that.
And let him put some more on the board because we have... Well,
removal.
we don't have Plague of Fire now because we're going to plot twist it. But we have removal likely going to be available for us.
All right.
Because that 4 damage is not terrible. Okay. Because with this many cards, we might get some of them again.
There's the other plot twist.
That's going to finish our quest really fast.
Yeah, that's good.
Curse of Weaknesses is solid. There's Valdris. Okay. Not a bad second hand. We could actually get our second plot twist done early.
We're only 4 cards away from completing the quest, and we have 2 questing explorers in our hand.
Yep. I would like to draw into one of the Plague of Flames. Reminder, you can only use 1 Plague of Flames. You use the second Plague of Flames, you don't have an activator for Mecha'Thun.
That is correct.
So he's rope-a-doping me a bit. I didn't expect this to be Dragon. There's Plague of Flames. So can we pull off a Plague of Flame this turn? I don't think we can.
Well, we could. We could Potion Vendor, Elven Archer, Plague. That's 4 mana.
We could actually Elven Archer, Plague.
Yes.
We take out the 2/2, and then we can play a questing behind it.
Or, play a questing behind it, yeah.
So, Elven Archer. Now, we have to be careful, though. We don't have many activators for our voodoo dolls now.
That's true.
So then we're going to Plague. And then... Yeah, let's just questing, because if we plot twist, anytime we plot twist at this point, it's going to complete us.
So next turn, we can questing and complete our quest.
Yes. And then we'll just have plot twist for whenever. We don't need to use it to complete the quest.
Correct. Sinister deal. He's discovering a lackey.
And I don't want to plot twist this turn because I want to set up for Valdris, which means we probably need to empty our hand a bit. Make sure we're below 8 cards. Or 8 cards or less. Okay. So he has lots. He's going to burn a card.
Yeah. Nosgad in chat says, Zerotio, notice me, senpai.
Hey, what is up, Nosgad? That is my buddy. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time, man. Sorry, I'm engrossed in this game. I think we make this trade.
Okay.
So we trade. We go ahead and
complete the quest by playing the other.
Yeah, I'm trying. I want to get as much out of my hand this turn as possible. So let's go ahead and play the other quest. That'll complete the quest. I think we play the Voodoo Doctors, and then that'll put us at 6 cards, and then we can hero power still.
Okay.
So we'll double Voodoo Doctor, and that puts us at 6 cards. We can draw 1. We'll be at 7, putting us at 8 next turn. That's good for Valdris. Yeah, that works. And a free Voodoo doll. Cool.
Nice.
Now we might end up shuffling that back. I wish you would have burned something better. Okay.
What's up, OZ Gold? Glad you made it.
Let's see here.
Goldie? Hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, Goldie, man. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I did the new name. Threw me out for a second. I was like, is that Goldie? Good to see you, brother. Down in Australia. I don't think we're what's he got on the board? 7, 9? I don't think we're at risk for lethal. So I think we can safely Valdris here. Yeah, I think we Valdris. And then I think I'm just going to Voodoo doll on the Netherwing.
Okay.
Just to get it out.
Okay.
Because we have the other Voodoo doll in our deck still, and we have the Mortal Coil to go with it. But this way, if he tries to trade off the Voodoo doll, it's going to die. I don't think he runs any silence. This deck definitely takes a lot of finesse. Like again, I wish we had more healing.
He's gonna go face.
Okay. Has he got a Leroy? No.
Nope.
More lackeys. He is very aggressive on getting lackeys in his hand, which I don't. He already burned 1 card. That could have been something important.
Okay. So, if we remove the 5/7, and then we clear something with the 4/4, okay, so he's got a 4/10 now. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we have 11. It'll do 11 damage. So we can trade in the Voodoo doll
To remove the 5/7 from the board.
Yep.
And then you could trade in the 4/4 and clear.
Yes, we trade in the 4/4 to the 4/10. That'll leave 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we're short 1 damage, but that's fine. We have the Mortal Coil.
That's true. And you can follow that up with a Doomsayer.
Can. So we'll go ahead and Dark Skies. It'll clear everything except for 1. Then we Mortal Coil it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna tap first.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Then we Mortal Coil it.
that's good follow up.
And then we'll show him the top deck Doomsayer.
Okay.
Okay. We're probably, and I've noticed this a lot in these type of matchups, we're probably going to Zephrys for some kind of healing. You almost have to. Ooh, lead it out with a Titanic Lackey? Oh, his own Plague of Flame. That means he has something to play after it. Which I'm fine with. Wait, why would you tap? Oh, his hand was full. That's why he didn't tap first. Yeah, the solo content comes out on Tuesday, Goldie, so that's a good time to get back in. Oh, as you say that.
Yeah, I got to take into account time zones. So it'd probably be Wednesday for Goldie there in Australia.
So I think I'm going to tap first. See what we get. Okay, the Voodoo Doll's good. We don't have an activator, though. I think we just Dark Skies.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to Dark Skies this. And I'm going to start playing some of our draw. We need to get cards out of our hand and start drawing cards.
Okay.
So we'll draw one more. I'm going to heal. And then I'm going to play Plot Twist.
Okay. I like that.
Because we got to get the Plot Twist out of our hand.
Now
and this is just going to...
And this will get it out of our hand. So if we redraw Galvanizer and Mecha'Thun...
We can Galvanizer, yeah. We're guaranteed to get Mecha'Thun. Because next turn we'll draw, and we only have one card left in our deck. It looks like we drew everything we had in our hand.
Yeah. And Mecha'Thun is the last card in the deck.
So he Leroy's us. Does he have another way to do
2 damage?
And the full fire, so he has it.
Yeah.
Dang it. Oh well. Again, this suffers against a lot of voice is delayed. It's possible. Skype does things. Against aggressive decks, I wish it had a little bit more healing, but it kind of is what it is. You have to prioritize a lot of draw over anything else. You really want to get to your combo as fast as possible. Right. I've seen this combo pulled off on turn 10.
All right, so next up we have a Hunter.
Monkey Saucer. Oh, the names. I think we just keep the quest.
I agree. Toss everything else back.
Aggressively draw. Mortal Coil is nice.
Doomsayer's nice.
Yeah, it'll be good to pop out maybe onto.
Quest versus Quest.
Yeah. He's gonna hero power next turn.
I was gonna say, do we just hero power?
I think we just tap, yeah. He's gonna want to aggressively tap, and since we're tapping, it's kind of like being
right.
Okay.
We want to try to find a plot twist quickly. Well, that's a good Mortal Coil target.
It's a good Mortal Coil, and we can follow it up with Doomsayer, because this is the turn he wants to play stuff.
Uh-huh.
Solarium. If we can get Plot Twist, Solarium gets a lot more value with Plot Twist.
Yes, it does.
Because it draws you 3 cards, and then you shuffle them all back into your deck and keep your hand size.
Exactly. And those cards remain in your deck. They don't disappear like they would if they were in your hand.
That is correct. So I think we tap here.
Okay.
And then maybe throw another Doomsayer out.
Sure.
Keep him slowed down.
Yeah.
It's more, you get more value out of him early, because a lot of times he could just, play something to kill it and then have more mana. Well, he's going to sacrifice a 2/3 to the the quest gods here. So this, I mean, the Doomsayer slowed a lot of his progress there. Oh, my kingdom for a plot twist. I'm going to tap again.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and play the potion vendor.
Okay.
Just to give him something to mess with. Is he going to have any big minions at all? I think that's good.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm trying to see if maybe we Elven Archer just to have another thing for him to have.
I think you saved the Archer for the Voodoo Doll activator now.
Yeah, but the question is he going to have anything worth Voodoo Dolling, and that answers it. So Voodoo Doll one of them, then Elven Archer it, and then tap. So tap first then?
Yeah, always tap first. So Fred doesn't have to yell at you.
Yes. So then we're going to Voodoo Doll 1 and Elven Archer it. He's probably going to use his weapon or the minion off of his weapon to kill the Elven Archer. We're in a position we can Valdris. Hunting Mastiff main deck.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I've seen this deck posted in some of the Discords I'm in. I'm interested that he used the 2/1 instead of his face.
Well, we could clear with Dark Skies.
I think we have to clear with Dark Skies.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I
6,
want a
7,
Valdris.
8. I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, 9, 10, 11 damage.
11 damage.
That leaves us at 6. Yeah, that would be rough.
Yeah.
I think you have to Dark Skies this turn, and maybe Voodoo, follow it up with a Voodoo to heal.
Do we have to Dark Skies? How close is he to completing quest?
12 away.
12 away. Maybe we double Curse of Weakness.
Okay.
To set up for an even better Dark Skies next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. Double Curse of Weakness.
And it gets the Curse of Weakness out of our hands, so we don't have to worry about it later.
And then I'm going to tap and Voodoo Doll. Voodoo Doctor.
Okay.
They can't attack, and he's not going to finish his quest, so he can't use the new hero power. And it sets up for a good Dark Skies.
Yeah.
Thing I worry about is how much.
So, questing first?
Before we Dark Skies?
Well, I mean, you could questing and tap and then Dark Skies. That gets you an extra card in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, but questing Explorer is 3 damage to Dark Skies because it hits our minions too.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no.
So I think we run in.
I thought it was enemy minions only.
No, to a random minion.
Gotcha.
So it's going to do 8 damage. It's not quite enough to clear. We might have to double Dark Skies. Let's see what we clear first. Okay. So what are options here? I think we have to Dark Skies again and then questing.
Okay.
It's not very efficient, but we're already really well. There's a plot twist.
Good. So
See, again, if this had the taunts in it that healed when they're drawn, we could, Solarium into plot twist and possibly heal for 8, 12 damage. But okay, that's interesting that he hit that instead. A 2/3 is not very threatening. I would have just hit face.
Okay. So
Solarium into plot twist.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
That'll complete us.
That will complete us, and it'll leave us with 9 cards in hand. But we'll still have 6 mana to play something. So
Yeah. So Solarium. And no, it'll be 8 cards in hand.
Maybe you play the Voodoo Doctor first
To heal?
to heal. Yeah.
Okay.
Now plot twist.
Plot twist, and then we can still hero power?
Yeah.
And Zephrys is active, so we can actually get heal off of him. But I think it's better to tap first.
Is it, or do you plot twist again to get it out of your hand?
Well, let's tap, play the potion vendor, and then plot twist.
Okay.
And then we're done. We have 7 cards in deck. Because remember, the tap makes it 0 cost.
Yeah.
So now if we tap into Mecha'Thun, that makes things even better.
It's also important to note Zephrys is no longer active.
Yeah, it is no longer. No, it is now.
Okay. Well, it did. Okay, when it came out in your hand, it didn't look active.
It wasn't because it was still drawing things, and we didn't have the mana to play it. According to my deck tracker, it should be active.
Okay.
Okay. So we can Mortal Coil that. We got plenty for novices. Let's go ahead and use our hero power to tap.
Okay.
Plague of Flames free.
I'll say, 'cause now if we draw, if we can get a free Mecha'Thun,
we don't need Galvanizer now because of the 3
free
man. I can't talk.
Plague
I'm done.
of Flame.
So let's Mortal Coil one of these bad boys. Elven Archer, the other one. Now we just need to start the dump hand.
Correct.
Novice Engineer.
Novice
Engineer.
How many cards do we have left? We're going to burn some with Valdris.
Oh, we are. That's fine. I think that's fine. Do we go ahead and play the Galvanizer since we don't need to hit Mecha'Thun?
I think that's fine.
To get it out of our hand? We have to play Valdris this next turn. We're going to take Fatigue. That's going to be rough. This is what I was talking about if you get Valdris late.
He's completed his quest.
Yep. And he's going to go clear crazy and draw and get a bunch of shaman spells.
But that's okay because, well, we could Godfrey, but...
Yeah, we can Godfrey. That Valdris is going to be... I don't like to draw 4 cards on it. Yeah. I wish it was just 12.
Actually, I mean, if you play Valdris now, you're going to overdraw 3.
Wait, no. If we draw Questing Explorer, we're fine.
We've played 2 Questings, haven't we?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we haven't. We have Questing and Mecha'Thun in the deck. If we draw Questing, which we did, now we tap into a free Mecha'Thun. We can play Valdris the turn we Mecha'Thun. Okay. We'll take a bunch of damage, but...
Okay.
We could do it.
So, do it.
So, we got free, and then we play Godfrey now?
Godfrey, yeah.
Yeah, let's play Godfrey. Then do we go ahead and play 1 Plague of Flame now just to clear the board?
I think you wait and use it next turn when you Voodoo Doll and Zephrys. Or maybe you Voodoo Doll Questing in Zephrys.
Yeah. Man, I would have said that to my face. I would have frozen my face so hard. We're going to Zephrys first. We need heal. Well, we need to save mana. We're going to rack up a bunch of... I don't know if we can do this because of fatigue damage. Because we're going to take the fatigue damage no matter what.
All right. So let's think about this. Voodoo, questing. We need heal off Zephyrus.
Yeah. So Voodoo on the 5/3. We got to dump the questing. It won't draw us a card. We're fine. Then we Plague of Flames, but what heal are we going to get for 2 mana? We're not really going to get any heal for 2.
Play Zephyrus, because we can always play the free Plague of Flames.
Yeah. No, you're right. We got this. So healing touch.
Yeah.
Healing touch our face and the free Plague of Flames. Yeah. You're right. So now
next turn
we will take
Valdris.
2, 3, 4. We're gonna we're 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 plus 3. We're gonna take 19. 19?
5, 6, 7, 8,
no,
9.
we're
10,
dead.
11, 12,
there's no
13,
way for
14.
us to do it. Yeah, no, because we're gonna take 2 now. So then we'll take 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're dead. But we'll show the Mecha'Thun. See if he reacts. He's not gonna react, so then we'll just kill ourselves. Oh well. So that was more sequencing, and when we got the Valdris in here, I don't know if it's needed.
Yeah.
It seems to cause more problems than good.
Right.
Because that's the second time in my playing that I've had that problem where I got Valdris late.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for us this week. I will, before you leave, I will open my golden pack on stream for you guys.
Here comes a golden legendary.
I doubt it. I opened a legendary recently, so.
But golden packs are on different timers.
Are they?
Yep.
Nope. No golden legendary. So I didn't get 2 golden mage secrets though.
Yeah, you did. So. That's an ice barrier's playable. Vaporize, off discovered.
Yeah,
it's playable, I guess.
So, all right, gang. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, feel free to email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so already, and give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. If you want more details about our Patreon, head on over to patreon.com/heropower, and we'll see you all again next week.
Bye, guys.